The 6 rust-covered engines crashed onto the concrete floor of the tiny repair shop with a sound that echoed like a final judgment. Every mechanic standing nearby believed they were nothing more than worthless scrap. The luxury SUV that had delivered them pulled away without hesitation, leaving behind only a signed disposal form and a cloud of dust. The woman who had authorized the delivery, CEO Victoria Collins, never looked back. To her, the engines were failures. To everyone else, they were junk. But to one struggling single father, they looked like 6 unanswered questions waiting for someone patient enough to understand them. What no one realized was that those forgotten engines carried a secret worth $3 million, and discovering that truth would change every life involved forever. Before we begin this unforgettable story, if you believe kindness deserves another chance and that honesty always finds its reward, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment telling us where you're watching from, share this story with someone you care about, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another emotional journey. In the quiet town of Springfield, Missouri, lived a hard-working mechanic named Michael Carter. Life had not been gentle with him. 3 years earlier, his wife had passed away after a sudden illness, leaving him alone to raise his 9-year-old son, Noah. Every morning before sunrise, Michael packed Noah's school lunch, drove him to school in an aging pickup truck, and then spent 12 exhausting hours repairing old cars inside a small shop that barely stayed open. Bills piled up on his desk faster than customers arrived. The roof leaked every time it rained, the compressor broke twice a year, and some nights Michael skipped dinner so Noah could have a proper meal. Despite every hardship, Michael refused to cut corners. His customers trusted him because he never charged for repairs that weren't needed. He believed that a person's reputation was worth more than money, even if it meant living paycheck to paycheck. One rainy Tuesday afternoon, an assistant from Collins Automotive Solutions arrived with a flatbed truck carrying 6 enormous V8 engines. The paperwork described them as defective prototypes that had failed extensive testing. The corporation wanted them destroyed discreetly instead of sending them to public scrapyards where competitors might examine them. Michael normally refused disposal jobs, but the company offered enough money to cover 2 months of rent. He signed the paperwork, watched the truck disappear down the road, and assumed the engines would eventually be dismantled for recyclable metal. That evening, after Noah had finished his homework inside the office, Michael couldn't resist taking a closer look. Years of experience had taught him that machines often told stories their owners never heard. He slowly cleaned years of grease from the first engine, carefully removing damaged covers and inspecting every component. Something immediately felt wrong. The engine wasn't destroyed. It had never been properly diagnosed. Instead of catastrophic damage, Michael found an unusually tiny manufacturing defect inside a sensor housing. It was so small that most computerized diagnostic systems would misinterpret the problem as total engine failure. Curious, he inspected the second engine. Exactly the same defect. Then the third. Again. By midnight, Michael realized every single engine shared the identical microscopic flaw. His hands trembled. Whoever had tested these multi-million-dollar prototypes had relied entirely on automated reports without allowing experienced mechanics to investigate manually. Over the next 2 weeks, Michael spent every spare hour rebuilding one engine using inexpensive replacement parts he ordered with money he really couldn't afford to spend. Noah stayed beside him every evening, handing over tools, organizing bolts, and proudly learning everything his father knew about engines. Finally, the day came. Michael connected fuel lines, checked every measurement twice, turned the ignition key. The shop filled with silence. Then suddenly, the massive V8 roared to life. Its smooth, powerful sound echoed through the building. No warning lights. No smoke. No vibrations. It purred like a brand new masterpiece. Michael stared at the running engine in disbelief. He hadn't repaired scrap. He had resurrected perfection. Word spread quietly among local mechanics. Soon retired engineer Samuel Brooks, who had spent decades designing performance engines, visited the shop after hearing unbelievable rumors. After inspecting Michael's work, Samuel became speechless. He explained that Collins Automotive had secretly spent nearly 8 years developing these revolutionary engines. They were designed to produce incredible horsepower while consuming significantly less fuel than existing performance engines. If the design truly worked, it could reshape an entire industry. Samuel encouraged Michael to contact the company immediately. Michael hesitated. He remembered how casually they had thrown away millions of dollars worth of engineering. Would anyone even believe him? Meanwhile, Collins Automotive faced disaster. Their newest flagship vehicle had failed during public demonstrations because engineers believed the experimental engine program had completely collapsed. Investors questioned leadership. Stock prices dropped dramatically. CEO Victoria Collins found herself under enormous pressure as board members demanded answers. Then Samuel quietly sent a short video to one of the company's engineering directors. The clip showed Michael's repaired engine running flawlessly. Executives thought it had been digitally edited. But curiosity defeated skepticism. Within 48 hours, a convoy of black SUVs arrived outside Michael's small repair shop. Victoria Collins stepped out herself. She entered expecting another exaggerated local rumor. Instead, she found 6 engines lined neatly across the floor and one running with astonishing precision. Every senior engineer accompanying her stood frozen. They checked temperatures, compression, fuel efficiency, internal diagnostics. Every test produced extraordinary results. The impossible had happened. A mechanic working alone in a tiny independent garage had accomplished what hundreds of highly paid corporate specialists had failed to achieve. Victoria slowly walked around the engine, unable to hide her amazement. For the first time in years, she admitted something that rarely escaped successful executives. Her company had made a terrible mistake. The corporation's engineers discovered Michael's diagnosis was entirely correct. A minor supplier had manufactured one inexpensive electronic component slightly outside tolerance. Automated systems interpreted the resulting signals as catastrophic mechanical failures. Millions of dollars had nearly vanished because everyone trusted computers more than human experience. Victoria privately reviewed Michael's repair notes. Every page reflected patience, care, wisdom, not luck. She realized something even more valuable than the engines had been overlooked. The man standing before her. Instead of threatening legal action over company property, Victoria shocked everyone with an unexpected proposal. She offered Michael $3 million for the return of all 6 engines, full credit for identifying the manufacturing defect, and an executive consulting position leading a new mechanical verification division where experienced technicians would inspect prototypes before any automated system declared them failures. Michael quietly declined the executive office. He explained that his first responsibility would always be Noah. He couldn't spend his life traveling from city to city attending meetings while his son grew up without him. Victoria respected the answer. Instead, she designed an entirely different agreement. Michael would remain in Springfield. The company would build a state-of-the-art engineering workshop beside his existing repair shop. He could continue raising Noah while mentoring young mechanics from across America. The deal was finalized 1 week later. $3 million transformed Michael's financial future, but it never changed his heart. The leaking roof disappeared. New equipment filled the garage. Employees finally received healthcare and stable salaries. Scholarships were created for students who wanted to become honest mechanics regardless of their financial backgrounds. Samuel Brooks became the workshop's senior mentor before retiring happily. Even Victoria changed. She introduced new company policies requiring experienced human inspections alongside every automated diagnostic report. Engineers were encouraged to question computers instead of blindly trusting them. The change saved Collins Automotive hundreds of millions of dollars over the following years while restoring the company's reputation. But the greatest victory happened quietly one ordinary evening. Noah stood beside his father inside the new workshop, looking at dozens of apprentices learning skills that had once nearly disappeared. He smiled proudly because he understood something few children ever witness. His father hadn't become wealthy because he chased money. He became wealthy because he never stopped doing the right thing, even when nobody was watching. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who still believes good people exist, subscribe for more inspiring stories, and let us know your thoughts below. Your support helps us continue bringing meaningful stories like this to life. Speech balloon special request, comment below, character is worth more than wealth. We'd love to know if you believe that. As the sun set over Springfield, Michael locked the workshop doors and walked home beside Noah, their shadows stretching across the pavement. The million-dollar engines were gone, but the lesson they left behind would never disappear. Real treasure is rarely hidden inside machines, corporations, or bank accounts. It is hidden inside ordinary people who refuse to give up, who choose integrity over shortcuts, and who keep believing that every broken thing deserves one more careful look. Sometimes, the world throws away miracles because they appear ordinary. It only takes one honest heart to recognize their true value, and when that happens, lives are changed forever.